Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bianca, and today we're going to be making a dress. Another dress? Yeah, another dress. But this one is a little different. This is for a photo shoot with the wonderful Victor B. Artistry. I was lucky enough to be given the opportunity to participate in one of his photo shoots, and he sent over some inspiration photos. Based off of the inspiration photos, I think I can Frankenstein a few of my patterns and come up with a really cute outfit. The first pattern is going to be Butterick 6393. It is a 1980s wedding dress. I do kind of like this V-neck here. It's very similar to the inspiration of photos that he sent over. And I'm going to use McCall's costume pattern MP236. I'm going to hopefully steal this sleeve and attach it to this bodice piece. And the fabric I'm going to use is this here. It's all black bed sheets. This is the same bed sheet that I use for my Sagittarius Centaur costume. I have enough fabric, I think, to make this dress. This is the first day. I'm probably just gonna end up cutting some pattern pieces and we'll see how far we go. If this is content that you enjoy, please make sure to give it a like and consider subscribing to see more videos like this one. All right, let's see if we can make this beautiful dress and make it in time for the photo shoot.
I had previously cut up the pieces for the Butterick pattern, so all I needed was the sleeve patterns. When I opened this up and saw how big this sleeve was, oh my god, I actually got worried that I might not have enough fabric for the sleeve alone. But it worked out fine. I gave them a good press. I also ironed my fabric and then called it a day, because let's be honest, just cutting some pattern pieces and ironing them is more than enough. The next day, Teddy visited the sewing room, and I was able to trace out the pattern piece size for the sleeves and just cut this out. He works as a really good pattern weight. However, he's not that helpful because he loves to play with this paper. On this sheet, you can kind of see some cat fur on it, and this is actually Nebula's cat fur. Nebula used to be with me all the time when I would make my projects, and that is some of her fur, so it was kind of sweet to see it when I was working on this. It made me very emotional. And earlier this year, I decided to start volunteering at an animal shelter. It's actually the animal shelter where we adopted Nebula from. And if you don't know, springtime, or honestly any time in California, is basically kitten season, but it's usually during the springtime. I love going to the animal shelter, walking dogs, but as you know, I love cats. So I get to hang out with all of these cats that are at the shelter waiting to be adopted. And one day, someone planted a seed in my head and asked if I would like to be a foster for kittens, because there are so many kittens at the shelter that need just a chance to be growing up in a home. They can be socialized, they can be provided their medication if needed, and yeah, she planted this seed and I took the plunge. I said that I would like to try it out, and literally the same day that I was going for my interview, they asked me if I wanted to take one home, and they actually said, "Which one do you want?" And so I got this little girl. This little girl is a tortie. Was about 6 to 7 weeks old when I saw her at the animal shelter, and she is so funny. She has such beautiful coloring. Again, reminds me of Nebula because Nebula was a tortie. Very different though, because this one jumps off of the walls, jumps everywhere, literally. But she's super cute. And this is my first foster kitten ever. So now we have Teddy and this little girl in our home. going back to the dress, I'm sewing up some darts right over here and leaving the tails open so that I can tie them up by hand later on. Then I grab my front, sides, and back pieces and sew those up. While I'm sewing this, the kitten is in the bathroom because it was only a few days after we had gotten her that I was like, I have to keep working on this dress to meet my deadline. And something that I was really worried about was that Teddy wasn't going to be happy. So Teddy is 6 years old. He's going to be 7 in August. And he's a big boy. He does have a lot of energy, but her energy is quite different because she's a little baby. So he wasn't very pleased, but we try to keep them separated because I want to make sure that she's okay and he's okay. I don't want to change his life too much. Obviously, this is just a completely different little being in our home, so it's shaking up his routine. But luckily, he's doing okay so far. He would just go to the door and sniff it, and he knows something is in there. He would hiss, of course, because cats are territorial, but as long as they didn't see each other, it was fine. The next task on this dress was the sleeves. Because I'm using 2 different pattern pieces, I was having a really hard time figuring out how I was going to get this all together. So I ended up zigzagging one of the edges of this sleeve, and I didn't like how that looked. But I went and began ironing the edge as the instructions say. Again, I did not like how it looked, so it's a big sleeve, a lot of fabric, and I checked to see if I would have enough to cut 2 extra sleeves out. So I basically made a lining for my sleeve because that was the only way that I was going to be able to get the look that I wanted, and it kind of worked out because it makes it look a little bit puffier than it would have if I had followed the instructions as directed. Another thing I need is elastic for these sleeves. So what do we have in a fitted sheet? Elastic. So I'm going to try to remove all of the elastic from this fitted sheet and reuse it on my sleeves. This is something that I've done before when I created my Betty Rubble costume. I never filmed that, but it's very similar. I just reused as much of a bed sheet and fitted sheet as possible. There's a little channel in here, and I'm going to throw in some of this elastic in there. So right here, I'm feeding this elastic with a loop turner, and I sew one of the edges, pull it through, gather it, make sure that it fits on my shoulder, and then sew the edge of this sleeve. I believe I also sewed the very bottom portion of the sleeve, like where the armpit goes. I don't know, man, this is way too fast. Why did I do a time-lapse video? I can't even do a voiceover for it. Sorry. I did grab this bottom portion of the sleeve and sewed that up and used one of my pressing hams and ironed that open. Oh, I think I did gather the bottom of this sleeve. Man, listen, right now it's July when I'm doing this voiceover. Please give me some grace. I haven't been making videos a lot this year. What I did here was grab this bottom section of the sleeve, put it inside of the poofy section, and then pin this all around. I was supposed to sew this, but I ended up not doing it.
Hello, it's been a few days since I've worked on this project, and I only have a few weeks or weekends to get it done. I think I need one part of the sleeve, like at the bottom here, so I'll probably finish that today. And then I have to figure out how to attach it, because the instructions are Confucius for me, so I need to figure it out. I had to hide everything because I didn't want the kitten to get any of it, because Teddy once ate a needle when I turned around for 1 second and scared the bejesus out of me, so everything was hidden. Alright, so I think I got this done. I missed the section. That's alright. We can fix that. Alright, so here is one of the sleeves, the one that I just made. And I think that looks really cute. Let me put the other one on. Oh my goodness. I think it looks super cute. Oh, I had hemmed this one, so I just need to hem this one next. Okay, so I got the sleeves done. Even the hems are good. Now onto the bodice, which I still don't know how to do, but we'll figure it out. So we have this piece here, right? It's saying to sew like a section here to here, which makes sense because this would have to go in like that. So I'm gonna try it. Hopefully it works. I'm sure it will. And if it doesn't, again, we're learning here, okay? We're learning here, and it is what it is. So let's try it out.
Here I'm pinning the sleeve to the bottom section, like closer to the armpit, and I take this to the machine and start sewing.
All right, so let's see if this worked. If it looks cute. We're gonna be a little tight. I think this is gonna look cute. Let's keep going and sew up the lining. Because if the bodice is done, like the skirt shouldn't be that difficult. I'm probably just gonna do like a gathered skirt. And it shouldn't be that difficult. But Lord knows every time I say that, something happens, so, you know. What's up?
Lunch is ready.
Yay! Lunch is ready. I guess I have to stop. All right, so I'm back from lunch and the air conditioner is on, so I'm freezing as per usual. This is the lining. It says to clip this so it'll fold down, and then I'll sew it onto the actual bodice piece. I wonder how the understitching is gonna work, because it doesn't say to do it, but you kind of need it in order for it to look good, so we'll see. Hey, I'm over here at the bottom because this is where my ironing board is. As I iron these sections down, I'll let you know that this is polyester and it says to not iron it, but do I listen? No. Alright, so I already finished ironing it, and this is what it looks like. So let's sew it. So I just finished sewing this up, and I did the understitch. So I'm just clipping some, hopefully not some stitches, but I'm clipping some of these for the curve, and then we'll flip it right side out. This is just the neck piece, it's not the arms. I don't know how I'm gonna do that part yet. Maybe I'll iron this, you know, the thing that I'm not supposed to be ironing. Okay, so this is it. It is understitched. I think I did a pretty good job. The only thing I need to do now is like figure out how I'm gonna do the lining. I could probably just sew it by hand, but your girl is lazy sometimes, so I don't know. Because if I do a top stitch, you might see it on the other side, and I don't want that. I might end up cutting up the fitted sheet and checking out how much fabric I have so I can start on that skirt. So I have a vertical for now. You might see the little kitten running around because she's in the room now. No, she's climbing the tripod. All right, so this is the fitted bed sheet, and I think that I could just cut it in half and then do like a gathered skirt using the entire thing. It's gonna be really big, and I think that will be really pretty. You come here? Okay, she doesn't want to come. This is the little kitten that we're fostering, and she is biting me right now, which is something that we have to stop because it's cute as she's a little kitten, but when she gets older, she's going to think that this is okay. I need to play with her so that she can stop biting me and bite her toys. And then I'll work on the skirt. And we're done. today is another weekend, so I need to work on this sleeve. The kitten is in the other room so that I can actually work on stuff. I grabbed footage of me putting some pockets into the fitted bed sheet, but the more that I kept looking at it, the more I realized I should really cut this down because of that curve that the fitted bed sheet has. So that's what I'm going to be doing today, sewing up the sleeves. I think those are some attainable goals, so let's see how far we get today. Alright, so I just finished sewing up the sleeves. I think it's gonna look fine, I hope. I need to give it a press, even though we both know that we shouldn't do that because the material says not to. But now that I have those sewn in, because I'm not gonna hand sew them, we will work on this skirt. So let me make this table a little bit bigger so I can start working on cutting that skirt out.
I got to cutting this skirt and unpicking the pockets that I had already sewn on this. We also went to an estate sale earlier that day and we found this beautiful ironing board. So I got it for $8, cleaned it up obviously, and used it to iron this fabric that I shouldn't be ironing. But whatever, I did what I did. After that, I sewed those pockets back on, and I think that was all I did. I didn't end up gathering the skirt. I left that for the next day.
Hi, it's the next day. I did get to sew up the sleeves and this entire skirt together. I'm going to have to gather this entire skirt and try to put this on to the bodice piece.
To gather this skirt, I used my regular zigzag stitch with crochet thread. This is the same crochet thread I've been using for all of my skirts, I think. I just started gathering this all the way down. After this, I sewed this onto the bodice front. Let me just show you how it looks.
I'm trying to get this camera straight, but obviously my tripod and all of this isn't working. Like, it's not. So, you know, just tilt your head a little this way and you'll see it. But the reason I have you like this is so that I can try it on. Wow. Oh man, this is gonna be tight, but I think it looks so cute. Get out. Here, that looks cute. Let me just try doing this. All right, so I put you guys this way because I was getting tired of seeing it all like crooked. I think it's looking really cute. All I need is the zipper and the lining. I use the very bottom of the fabric as the hem, so I'm not gonna hem this dress. It's already hemmed. It is so long and flowy that I think it's gonna be so pretty. It's so pretty. So let me just keep working on this and hopefully I can finish this. This is like just one project this month because I've been really busy with the kitten and, you know, life be lifing sometimes. But I'm pretty excited that I got to work on this and hopefully I can finish it today because the photo shoot is literally next week. So I need to get this going. I'm looking through all of my zippers and I have 2 black zippers. They are 7 inches. 7 inches is not long enough for this dress. So I have all of these zippers that my friend Nikki Marie from Nikki Marie Apparel gifted me, and there are no black zippers in here either. I might just use like one of these grays. You're gonna see it regardless. Like maybe if I do like a lap zipper, you know, it won't be that bad. Like maybe a purple or a red to like really, I don't know. All I know is that I'm not going to the store to get a zipper for this dress. Like, it ain't happening. I might use one of these. What color would you put if you didn't have black and these were the colors that you had? Let me know in the comments.
I was actually going to ask everybody on YouTube. I had created a post and everything, but I realized that even those zippers that I had weren't that long for this dress, so I ended up using this white one. About a day after I was doing this, I went back to the shelter and I saw this beautiful little kitten. Her name is Zadie. We call her Z for short, or Phantom, like Phantom of the Opera, because her little marking looks like a little mask like the Phantom. I decided to foster her because the shelter is extremely full with kittens. Like I mentioned, this time of year, there's so many kittens at the shelter that need help. And this little girl was underweight and she had a breathing problem. You could hear that she was wheezing and just having a really hard time even eating her food because she was breathing through her mouth. So the shelter did provide me with the medication needed so that she can recover at home. And that's why fostering is really great because, you know, the shelter tries to do as much as possible to keep everybody healthy, but it's always best to have that one-on-one interaction where you can care for them. And this little girl definitely wanted extra love and attention. Every time I would feed her, she would come to get some cuddles, get a little bit of food to eat, and then come right back to get some cuddles. As I'm recording this is the 21st of July. She's doing better, she is at weight, and her breathing has improved. The last thing that I had to do for this dress is work on sewing up this zipper. I sewed it up by hand to the lining, and literally the day of the photo shoot, it broke. So I had to hurry and use a completely different zipper, do it all by machine, and run to the photo shoot. And with that little story, I can show you the final look.
Okay, so this is the final dress. I think it looks absolutely stunning. I have my pockets, I have this beautiful heart-shaped neckline, these puffy sleeves, which aren't as puffy as I wanted them to be, but I think this dress turned out perfect. I just got out of the photo shoot. I'm going to put his information here for you all to see. Please go follow him and, you know, book a photo session with him if you'd like, because his work is amazing and I am just so grateful to have gotten the opportunity to have my pictures taken by him. What else can I say about this dress that I may not already have said over the voiceover? I really like it. It's super pretty. It's probably one of the most grand dresses that I've ever made. I obviously have the issue of the zipper showing, but that's because, hello? Yeah, but that's because my zipper is not a good one. And we have our little foster kitten here. Isn't she cute? I'll give you guys an update about the fostering. Right now we have this little bean. We've ended up naming her Jujubee, or Bean, because she is like just a little jumping bean and she is a sweetheart. She's crazy energetic. I absolutely love her. I'll set you down, okay, baby? We may not be keeping her. She is a few weeks old and Teddy is 6 years old, going on to 7 in August. So right now we're in July. You know, it takes some time to introduce cats. I've seen videos with Jackson Galaxy, but we might have to, you know, take her back because the fostering is over. She's met her weight, so she's ready for adoption. Like I mentioned, he is about to be 7 years old, so it's just a really different energy levels. She's way up here and ready to go, have a good time, you know, whereas Teddy is mellowing out. For that reason, we may not keep her. I have her until Tuesday, so today is Saturday and we have to make a decision. I also have the other little kitten. She's over in the other room. She needs a little bit more care than our little bean. She has a bit of a breathing problem, so we give her medication twice a day. And we're trying to get her to play as much as we can, of course. But she does play, and Bean wants to play with her, but we have to make sure that they're separated so that Bean doesn't get too like She is very hyper, whereas he is a little calmer. So, you know, it's been difficult. I know this entire video is supposed to be about this dress, but hey, in the middle of it, I decided to foster some kittens, and this is where we are now. Let me get a chair. I want to sit down. If you're on my stories, like on Instagram, you know that this has been a lot for me because Bean reminds me of Nebula because of her coloring and stuff, and Nebula was my little soul cat. She was with me all the time. If you didn't see her in the videos, trust me, she was like right by my feet, and I just absolutely loved her. So I thought, you know, if I volunteer at the shelter, which I was doing, I would feel like I was doing good. She was like the first Tori that they've had in such a long time that I was like, okay, I'll try with her, you know. And she is such a sweetheart, but Teddy is my baby, so I don't want him to feel like we're replacing him. And I know that those are probably just my emotions coming through. Like, I'm sure that Teddy knows that we love him to death. Like, when Nebula passed, we told him, like, we are all gonna have to pass at the exact same time. So Teddy, like, you can't go anywhere. He's probably like, okay, you guys are crazy. So because of that reason, at least I am having a very hard time with like keeping this little jelly bean here. So it's tough, you know, people who foster animals, and it's you know, it's really cool. And then I keep thinking, like, how do people who foster children do it? Like, I don't know, it's a lot. And, I'm just gonna say this again. I'm gonna put a reminder for me to say earlier. Please don't ever tell someone that they shouldn't be crying over this. Like, no one has told me that yet, but somebody has told me that cats are basically replaceable. So don't do that. Don't do it here. Don't do it to anybody. That's f***ed up. Like, don't say that. I have until Tuesday to decide if we're going to keep her or if she's going back to the shelter to get adopted and potentially go to her future home, which is pretty much the end goal, right? Like, the goal of fostering, per the kitten lady, is to say goodbye. It's just taking care of her for a few weeks of her being a little bitty baby, and now she's a 2-pound 5-ounce little baby who's ready, you know, for her future home. If you've ever fostered or anything, like, please let me know how you've dealt with it, because I'm having a really hard time with it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it again. I think I jumped into it too soon and too fast. I don't know if I have anything more to say about it other than, you know, I just love them, and I hope that if I don't end up keeping one or the other, that they find their forever home, and that the person who does keep them loves them every single day and never abandons them, and that they share a lot of pictures, because I would love to see them. Yeah, wow. I've just been an emotional wreck lately. There's a lot on my mind. Like, not only them, but like the world and everything. I know that it's like wild to say after I'm like crying all the time, but I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and if you did, please make sure to give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Oh my god, look at that. That's great. If you have any tips on anything that I talked about, or if you just want to talk about fostering, please leave a comment below. I'd love to talk about it. We can cry together, obviously, and share pictures of the little ones that you've helped, because I've only helped, or I hope I'm helping, these 2 little girls, and yeah, let me know. Thanks so much for watching and for listening, and I'll see you all next time. I love you.